Goodness sakes. Hey, sorry about that. Some of you guys might have hung around. I had to run around and get the internet back on. Yeah, dude. Sorry. We'll wrap this thing up in a little bit. Everybody's coming back on. Yeah, thumbs it up. I don't know what happened. I totally lost internet in the house. So chat it up. We're going to give this thing another half hour max, I promise. I really, 10 minutes and we were done. Victor, what's going on, man? Hey, what'd you fly this week, Victor? Did you get anything done? You fly your 8S F-22 some more? You got you're flying a down mix too, right? Like it calls for. Yeah, guys, I was streaming there. It still showed me clock and time, but I don't think anybody was there until I got a text from Dennis. Nobody knows we're here. Somebody go to, well, I'm going to go to Facebook real quick. I'm afraid to turn my phone on like I'll mess up the internet. I mean, I'm hardwired in down here. Michael Rajka, I missed your question. Before everyone gets back, I asked you about landing gear for the Viper. I found an Oleo set on eBay. What landing gear? I know the FMS Avanti landing gear work, but you have to be willing to drill out the trunnions, from what I understand. Yes, John, I'm back. Victor, going tomorrow. I was charging my batteries. We are a little bit worried about the winds kicking around too much, though, tomorrow. Hopefully we'll get some good weather. It's been really chilly here. Hey, Michael, that sounds good, man. Dennis, yeah, thanks for letting me know, because honestly, I was still going strong over here, but I wasn't able to. It said that comments were disabled for a minute. John Knopp, have you used the FMS EDF in a free wing jet yet? No, but I just outfit the F-22 with an FMS unit today. And it's not for the faint of heart, honestly. You got some modeling to do, because the housing on the FMS stuff, it's you can get it out around, and it's just a little bit bigger than the free wing stuff. So you have to sand it out. Right. So you need to get something round, the same size as the FMS shroud or bigger, just a little, and then just work it. I mean, I was at it for a long time, but if I get that minute and a half extra flight time, shoot, I'm all over it. RC fun for you. Yes, it is a big plane, 67-inch wingspan, which is nice. So I want you guys to tell me, just so I have an idea, not that I need a minimum order quantity on shirts, but I think they're going to be $23. And I got them from size availability from 5X down to, kid stuff, I think. So if you're into getting one, figure out a way to tell me, maybe here on this one right here, in the chat. They should definitely be up and available by the show next week, if not before. It could have been today, but dude dropped the ball. Dude dropped the ball a little bit. Yeah, I can't wait to, I do know how the FMS 90mm EDF behaves, because I've been flying that Scorpion, which was a pleasant surprise. That thing was fantastic. Mike Kennedy, you're going to get 3. That's killer. And any of you guys, okay, so I'm going to assume everybody's into shirts. Man, Wayne, you're awesome. They're going to be available next week to order like immediately. I don't have to wait on them to be printed. It's printing on demand. It's, it's internet 2018. That's what's up. I used to have bands, and I still have boxes full of those shirts and CDs. Not anymore. The margins aren't quite the same, but there's no, risk in a way. Dennis, you'll know when I launch the site, you'll be able to buy it right then and there. And they do all the shipping and logistics. It's fantastic. All I have to do is get them the designs. I probably, if you guys want hoodies or jackets, I may put them on jackets. And I'm going to do multiple things besides this first batch. But for the first batch, it's going to be the Mike and Ryan brand, the logos, stuff like that. Probably a coffee mug, maybe. Some stickers like you guys have asked for. And then a couple different colors of shirts. You can get a dark one or like a gray one. So because it's print on demand, I can give you options. I don't have to be stuck with 500 or something. And then when you run out of the popular size, you're stuck with 300 small ones. So this is really cool. This is how it's going to be. Again, I thought it could have been today that I launched this thing. Be following on social media, the Pilot Ryan on Instagram, the RC Pilots Lounge Facebook group, Pilot Ryan and Captain Mike RC Facebook page, where all fine content is served. I'll be there dishing it out, and I will promote the shirt's arrival for sure because I'm super excited about it. And, Mike and I can raise some money up and keep this thing going and make the studio look cool and keep into the planes for you guys. And also, I want to pick up a zoom lens for us. I'll put the link out there, Wayne. It's Teespring is the website that I use. And that's where I'll have my own little kind of store there, which is where the purchases are made. And then they're the ones who handle logistics and ship them out to you. So, it's like real time, right away. I don't have to handle really anything other than the promotion. So for me, that's perfect. It's very much like the Amazon store where I don't handle anything except helping you guys out. Like a lot of guys will message me and they'll ask me about something and hey, thanks, Strut. Man, cool. Thank you so much. Who's Strut7953? Oh, wait, thanks for the feedback on that. Is that you? Is that one of the Farley boys or is that somebody else? Cool. Let me know, Strut. I'm curious. Is it Wendell, Dennis? Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks, man. So same thing, like in this case right here, Wendell Farley and his dad reached out to me and they're asking me questions about stuff. And Adam Hampton did it today too. He was like, hey man, do you have the, the cable for dialing in the Spectrum receivers, the Bluetooth one? I was like, you can get it through the store, but if people ask me specifically for something, I'll just put it on there for them when I get the time. And a lot of times I'll make time for you. So to liken this to the t-shirt deal, I don't physically deal with anything on the Amazon store other than putting products on the store. And most of you know that even if it's not on the store, if you go to Amazon through me, it still benefits us anyway. So qualified purchases earn us a little bit of money, which helps us keep this thing going. So, which is cool. And again, I don't ship the stuff myself. I just grab links and put it on the store. And then, people are buying dog shampoo and sweatpants. You're not going to find that on the store. And I've got my buddy, Mike Kennedy. He's got a business out in California. It's a big engineering firm. They do like big crane operations and water systems to, feed and water, groves. And all this engineering equipment. He's getting it there, chains and shackles. It's just the coolest thing. Hey, John, thanks for everything. Have a happy new year. We'll be talking in the future, I'm sure. Once again, guys, hit cruisein.com. If you were wanting to get this stand, and you were on the fence, let me push you off of it right now and tell you that if you're in the continental United States, you can get it for free shipping. Anywhere else, $7.50 until the 3rd of January. Loyalty code RCPL loyalty. That's the code you're going to use, and you will get the free shipping again if you're in the continental U.S. John really wanted me to thank all of you so much for the support from the RC Pilots Lounge community of hanger rats. He really appreciates it, and it's working, guys. When you guys share this stuff, it really works. So I'm starting to see these stands all over the place now. Mike, did I oversell you? You say I wish. Well, it's still cool, man. You're getting all your business stuff through the store. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you're like the biggest thing on the West Coast, my man. A little. Well, I appreciate you, man. Mike Kennedy, did you get your airplane yet? Dennis says good night, John and Gladys. Kevin Kev, and we're back, he says. Yeah, we are going to go for a little bit longer. I feel like I ripped you guys off. It's too bad I lost the stream. If it happens again, I'm out till next time. So I'm sorry. We can chat it up on social somewhere. Good times. Yes, John, I just got your text. Thank you, man. Yeah, thumb it up when you guys leave and all that good stuff. Tracks for Wednesday. Okay, cool. Yeah, man, I got it out like what? Middle of the day, lunchtime, Indiana time, the 26th, day after Christmas. So should be good to go. Yeah, John. Let me see. What's the best way to tell him? Mary Boozer's not in the room right now, or he'd drop a link for you. But the best way, John, is to go to the homepage on this YouTube channel, and you'll look at the banner art. And in the banner art, there's like the icons: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Amazon. And if you're with me on Facebook, like, you can hit me on Messenger too, John, and I'll send you the link directly. So that's how you do it. So go there. You can bookmark the link, have your wife bookmark the link, whatever. And whenever you go to Amazon, whether you buy it from my store or not, as long as that's the first place you land, when you go there, whatever you do after that, toilet paper, toothpaste, sweatpants, dog shampoo, will help us out. And, you know, it's really cool. Over just like a few months, it's like over 150 items have sold. Some of it's airplane, some of it's radio, some of it's whatever. Some of it's not on the store. Some of it's camera gear, whatever. And if you find me on Messenger and there's something that you want me to put on there for you, I'll do it. So just let me know. Yeah, even beef jerky, Michael. Oh yeah, John, man, bookmark it. If you do it all the time, do it. We had a lot of guys get Christmas on there. Like, I saw a lot of toys. I don't know who buys what, but I see everything. And I'm as bad as the teenagers online. So I'm on social all the time. I probably check the Amazon store a couple times a day. And guys who hit me up, they know I'm pretty immediate on the response. Like Adam Hampton hit me up, asked me about this cable for programming his receiver today. And I pulled over and I found it and I put it on there. I mean, so I'm full service over here. Yes, we're back, Fred Barron. Yeah, man, good times. I felt bad. I lost my internet over here. I was like, I about called my wife, who's up with the baby, and said, asked her if she paid the bill or not. Show number 21. Can you believe it? RC Pilots Lounge. So, yeah, a lot of you guys told me that you're in on a couple shirts. I cannot wait to launch it. If you want to see what the logos look like, go to the RC Pilots Lounge Facebook group, and you can kind of cast your vote. Basically, I know what I'm going to do now. We're going to do a design for a dark shirt that looks like the one that's showed in that post, except we're going to add the clouds and the planes right there to it, just like the one like on the white shirt. Here's a question for you guys though. A couple of you, only a couple out of like so many, have mentioned about the logo. Where's the hat for me, right? So, hat or no hat? What do you think? I'm waiting to see. The designer is supposed to be getting me an option with the hat on so I can see it. Let's see if I can pull it up. I don't think you'll be able to see it. Kind of, sort of. So this one, that's what's going to be for the black. It doesn't show up very good, and it's like bright, right? That's what it's going to be on the dark shirt, but I'm going to do the clouds like in the jets. But yeah, hat or no hat? What do you think? Ricky, what's up? John says go for the hat. Flesh Mex 86. Eric Rogers, at least your internet came back up. Last Thursday we had no internet all day. Man, I can't deal with no internet. So Eric, that's how I found it, Ryan. What are you talking about? Where'd you get your Tyrannus? You ended up getting a radio, huh? That's fantastic. What am I missing? Cincy in the house. I dig hats more than shirts. Yeah, well, I'm going to do that too. But I mean, for the logo itself, do you put me in a hat or not? That's what I'm wanting to know. Here's a good. You got to go to Facebook to see it well, guys. I'm sorry. But so that's the one that's going to be like on the light colored shirt. And I'm going to do the same thing for a black one. But it's like, do I put a hat on my head in here or not? That's the question. I'm basically ready to rock, though, on these. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, Michael Rajka. Captain Mike is putting a logo on soiled underwear also. You notice that video is down, right? This world is funny. Let's see. Hats more than shirts, Eric. Yes, they're going to be something I make as well. My question is, do I put me in a hat in the logo? Hey, thanks for loving my channel. Your links is how on Facebook is how I found your Amazon shop. Oh, cool. Yeah, because every now and then I'll promote something. Actually, too, the description in many of the videos have the store in it. A lot of the planes we're doing lately, FMS or Horizon Hobby e-flite stuff, are also available on Amazon. And the thing is, it's still Horizon Hobby. Like Horizon Hobby has eBay presence. They have an Amazon presence. They're everywhere, right? So when I link an item, I do my best to make sure it's coming from them too, just because I know the recourse is even better than someone else maybe who's carrying it that you've never heard of, right? So thanks, man. Yeah, this is the FMS PA-18 1700 millimeter 4-cell power Piper Cub. That's going to be dynamite. I can't wait. It's got big monster tires, which as soon as I'm done with the video, I might make more realistic. Mike Kennedy says his DX9 came in 2 days from the store. That's awesome. Yeah, like 2 or 3 radios over the last week have come out of that store. Yeah, you guys are, the support's amazing, and I really appreciate it. It's really what it takes. Ricky, you're out of your mind. Hey, Paul, on the road riding the shotgun. Tell the driver I said hello, and I'm glad you had something nice under the tree. Thanks, Eric. Yeah, I can't wait to see the Maiden either. Yeah, guys, do it. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And Again, hit me up in Facebook Messenger. It's a really good place to hit me up. Also, Instagram direct messages. I never miss them. I really never miss a comment either in YouTube, but it's kind of nice when the comments are, I mean, think about the comment section in YouTube. It's kind of public. So contributing to the conversation is kind of where it's at. Personal requests and things like that, they can be in the YouTube comment section, but it kind of makes sense. Like if somebody's going to ask for, hey, I need size 28 large underwear for my mother-in-law. Like you don't need to put that in the comment section of YouTube. Like you can put it in Messenger or, Instagram direct message, whatever. Brownie64 got a P51B under the tree. That's fun. Those are nice. Let's see. Paul Hatcher got a F73 Tiger Cat. So did your father-in-law. Ricky says Ryan rarely comments on my witty post. I actually do, man. You were talking about me putting my backside, though, on a logo and who would like it. So, yeah, I didn't go there that time. When it gets nice, Ricky, you got to come down with us and fly. FleshMex86, I can call you Andy. Thank you. Because I was starting to feel funny trying to say your name, your handle there. All right, Andy, cool, man. Glad to have you over here. Make sure I hope you guys are all subscribers. You should be. Rear Gunner. Will you carry other brand of batteries on Amazon? Michael Rajka, that's a good question. I'll tell you why I will not carry batteries on Amazon. I do have a couple e-flite batteries on the store because they go along with like the Apprentice or some of the very entry micros or entry level, beginner flying planes, right? Apprentice, micros, things like that. So I want to have those batteries there for those guys who have not yet learned how to maybe source cheaper batteries somewhere else. So I linked some of the e-flite packs that go with that stuff. As you know, they come with EC3 connectors already and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I did that. There are a lot of batteries to be had on Amazon. And of course you can get them through my link, but they're not going to be anything that I put up on the store. And here's why, not to be a snob about batteries, but personal, really good friend of mine, RC Jetworks, sells batteries. And go check him out. I also feel like batteries are volatile, right? So I am a kind of guy who wants there to be a certain amount of integrity with batteries. So I'm good with shopping at, Motions Admirals, RC Jetworks batteries, the Roaring Tops that he carries as well. Other brands that I've never heard of, I'm sorry, but I'm skeptical. And I know it works for other people, but it seems like every other week there's a new battery company. So it's hard for me to trust $500 planes and stuff with batteries I've never heard of. So, not being a battery snob, but please go to sources and trust. Yeah, like Zippies and the Hobby King packs. I don't think they're available for me to put on the store anyway. And you guys already know where to find those. And I can't put Admiral packs on the store and RC Jetworks packs and Roaring Tops for that matter. I know I can't get the Jetworks packs on the store. And I asked him about it, and it's just like it's hard for him to dealing with Amazon and batteries is kind of a crazy deal. And also just the integrity of the batteries, right? The shelf life, the whole thing. Like, so my urging is to stick with what you've heard of. You get what you pay for. I will not be putting batteries on the store on purpose. You can, of course, source whatever you want through the link, but I will put chargers and things like that on the store, and I think we already have. But, yeah, check out rcjetworks.com for batteries. He's got Roaring Tops in his own packs. They are very actually all kinds of stuff, 2S stuff, 6S stuff, 4S stuff, 3S stuff with a multitude of different connectors available. EC3, Deans, T-plug, what are those others? XT60s, EC5s. So check that out. What am I missing? Yeah, John. I mean, honestly, the rumor has it that there's only a handful of factories that make this stuff anyway, but there's just a bunch of rebranding. But again, integrity is what I'm going for. Yeah, Eric, JetWorks does have great batteries, and that's where I'm getting mine now. Paul had a date night. You know what? That's all the kids wanted to get me and my wife for Christmas was a date night, and we're glad to get one. One of these days I'm going to take her out. Dennis Farley, appreciate that. I hope you told him when you went that I sent you. I like that. You know what's neat about homegrown is even though the World Wide Web is so big, when you make friends with the community, it can still feel so very homegrown, and it is, and I really appreciate that. John Knopp asked me, what's your take on breaking in a new LiPo? I'm probably the wrong guy to ask because I do not. I am the poster child for probably how to not treat batteries. I am not very nice to them. I fly them really hard. I don't give them much of a break. So somebody else I hope will chime in on that one. I mean, if it's a brand new battery, I still go crazy with it, just like I do an old one, until the battery starts giving me signs that it's like getting tired. Like I have a lot of old jet batteries that if this was a 6S plane here, that's what they'd be getting used in. So like my old 6S batteries from jets that I've been hard on end up going in 6S Warbirds and whatever prop. I downgrade them. So the new ones stay with the jets because the IR is still good. Wurzburg Koenig, new to the show, long-time listener, first-time caller. What's going on? Haven't seen you here before. Have you checked in with the proper authorities and filled out an application? That's what I want to know. And nothing really. We're just over here doing it now. That's all. We're doing the same thing we've always been doing it. We're just doing it back over on our channels now. Ricky, you're funny. That could be a song. Dennis says, I break them in flying in the plane. Yeah. I don't even know if you have to break in LiPos, do you? I mean, that's why I'm the wrong guy to ask. I can only make jokes. I break them in flying. No. Yeah. Eric says, same here with my batteries. Ryan, I think the biggest thing is to not leave them fully charged or empty when stored. Yeah, I mean, the thing about LiPos is there's so many opinions on them, right? Like, definitely it's widespread opinion not to leave them stored fully charged. Some guys will fly them out. And if you fly them out and they're at 3.7s or high 3.7s, like 3.77, 3.78, if storage voltage is 3.8, then after you're done flying for the day, as long as they're relatively balanced, I don't think there's a need for a storage charge. To be honest, most of my batteries are ready to rock like all the time. Like I've had a couple weekends where I've been able to get out, and so I have a handful of batteries that are not ready to go, and I'm in no hurry to get them ready to go again. And I have some more that I need to burn through is the way I feel about it. But I keep them kind of chilled and like in the garage is what I mean, unless it gets really cold. I really need to get a big fire safe thing for them. Be careful with batteries, guys. Every year something happens stupid because we don't take care. Yeah, empty is not good on them. Like, what's empty? Like 3.2, 2.8. If you're flying them that low, you're beating them up anyway. John says he's had no issues leaving them charged. I haven't either. Brownie says his are always ready to rock. I agree. Yeah, Pulse batteries, Jack Miller. That's a good brand name. I have Pulse batteries that are 5 years old, still going strong. Yep. Yeah, these aren't nickel metal, so it's not like the old days. I'd like to try some of the new technology, like those carbon batteries. That'd be cool. Alberto says he keeps his in ammo cases. I need a lot of ammo cases. So I have like one ammo case, and that doesn't do me much. I need to get one of those big work site, job site toolboxes. You know, actually, I think it's Ziegler. What's his name? Maybe Nicholas Ziegler. He does a lot of big balsa builds and restoration. He does a lot of stuff. If you're on Instagram, I think he's Ziggy, or I don't know. Some of you guys might follow him already, but I think it's him who uses like an old barbecue grill. You know, barbecue grill can take flame, so it's not a bad idea to store your batteries in an old grill, you know. 3.2 is dead, says Victor. Brian Chambers says 35% is perfect for storage. I really only look at the cells themselves individually, so 35% to me doesn't mean much. Michael Rashka asked, do you prefer to have the same connectors on your planes and batteries? It kind of makes sense to me. Yes, I prefer that. However, it doesn't always happen. And I'm more inclined to have an adapter that I need to make it happen. So I'm not changing ends all the time. You know, I'm getting to where I have enough batteries that have a certain type of connector that maybe, the funny thing, okay, so the FMS Scorpion, right? It's got an XT90, which is kind of an oddball now. It's got an XT90, one of those yellow connectors on the Scorpion, but it fits the EC5 plug of all my batteries. I don't even need an adapter, and I wouldn't want to use an adapter necessarily on a 6S jet anyway. So on that, I would change the ESC or change the connections so I have the same kind. But like 4-cell and below, adapter up, Buttercup. Like, so what? Doesn't bother me. John hates it when they put a Dean's plug on a 6S with 10 gauge wire. You should hate that. Who sells that? Michael Rajka likes EC3 for 3 and 4S applications, EC5 on bigger ones. Absolutely. Perfect. Yeah, I like EC5s. Everything's got them, you know, for the most part. And then it was Dean's forever, T-plugs on stuff. And then we started seeing XT60s pop up everywhere again. Jack Miller, your Scorpion came with the EC5. Yeah, mine came from RC Jet Dude, and it had the whatever it is, XT90 on it. Victor Shamula says he uses XT90 or XT60s only. John puts EC5s on. Michael Rashka, any soldering tips? Yeah, don't do it unless you have to. That's what I'm saying. That's my soldering tip. Time's hard to find. XT90s are good. Yeah, if you got batteries that already have that. Jack says he still uses Dean's on my large helis. I've never had a Dean's melt up on me, but guys always act like they're not up to the task at high voltage applications. So I tend to follow the crowd on that stuff. You know, better safe than sorry, as they say. Man, we're rocking 35 minutes on this chat here. David Wilson, what's going on? Just jumping in, I see. No worries. What'd I miss? Brownie doesn't trust adapters. Yeah, I don't either. But I roll the dice a lot. I mean, if you're flying at all, you're rolling the dice a little bit, aren't you? Walk-in gun vault. That's a good place for your battery, sure. Let's see. What is the big new plane? It's the FMS PA-18 1700 millimeter 4-cell powerhouse STOL plane with monster tires, and mine came with floats, and I think that's how they come. I'm not sure. There's some things that I just won't be doing a tutorial on. I'm probably not the guy to do a tutorial on lipo safety, and I'm probably not either going to be the guy that shows you how to solder. I did, when I was, first time I ever had to solder EC5s, I watched a Horizon Hobby video, and I think it was John Redmond, or I can't remember if it was him or not, but somebody did EC5 solder up video, and that was cool. I tell you one trick that I do. First of all, I don't want to get into it a lot on the soldering. Look how big these tires are. I don't want to get into it a lot on the soldering, but one very important thing is just do one lead at a time, either black or red. Never expose them both and prep the job. Be very careful that those two colors don't touch each other, or you'll have lightning in your face. An old refrigerator is a good idea for batteries. But what I like to do if I do have to solder, let's say, you know, the EC5s and some of the connectors, that's the hardest part. On the low voltage applications, if I've already got, like, let's say I got a dead ESC or something, or a dead battery, I will cut those leads off and use them, because I'd rather solder line together than line to connection. Because if it's a factory connection, it's usually hard for me to beat it. So I will sometimes just scab on an end I have laying around. Oh no. In the morning, David Wilson says his friend flew a brand new Viper jet into a tree on takeoff. Had to be going 90 miles an hour. It was the worst sound and thing he's ever seen. Goodness sakes. That's awful. Fred Barron uses a small hand torch and heat and fill the connector with solder and then poke the lead in it. Yeah. I use old school, just plug it in the wall soldering gun. I like the idea of a torch, though, and tin the wires first. Yep, got to use flux. I also have a wet paper towel around. Keep your tip clean and that kind of stuff, because it lets the heat through better. And you can over tin your wire. If you get too much solder in there, you'll never get that whole thing hot enough to do what you want it to in the bullet or whatever. Yeah, I really, it's not my favorite thing at all, but I've done it. So, new toys for Christmas. A bunch of you got some. Who's got maidens that they'd like to get done this week? Yeah, cold solder is bad. I killed a P38 with the cold solder joint because I made my own adapter to run one big 4S pack, and the one half was not good. Let's see. So we're looking on maidens for the week. John Knopp's doing a maiden on the Avio C130. Post up in the Pilots Lounge group and let us see how it went for you, or tell us about it. No time to do any maiden, says Eric. Josh Weaving FPV likes the 63-37 mix versus the 60-40. Is that a true thing? Or is that funny? I don't know. You know what? It's hard to get that stuff now that there's like no Radio Shacks anywhere. Usually, I mean, I get it and it lasts me forever. So I haven't bought any flux or solder for a long time. I suppose I get it off of this one guy's Amazon store, though. Okay. Brownie did the maiden on the Flightline Spitfire, and the monkey pants isn't easy to come by. Hey, let's talk about that real quick. And Ricky says, we'll go back to you, Brownie. Ricky says he's been accused of not building his planes on Facebook, and he will be blocking people soon. Dennis Farley, no flying for him this week. He's going to Houston. Eric's drooling over the C-130s. Sounds like Michael likes to go to the hobby shop to get his soldering done. Jack Miller says nothing soon. Just pulled the trigger on the Venom. So Brownie did the maiden on the Spitfire, and the monkey pants isn't easy to come by. So I think you're saying it's not hard. It's you're having a. If I'm reading between the lines, are you having a hard time landing it? Is that what I'm getting? David Wilson maiden 2 F-16s this weekend. It sounds like at his club. Were they the e-flite ones? Fred Barron did the e-flite F-16 Thunderbird on Christmas, waiting for the P-40 and Birdcage Corsair. Yeah, dude. The FMS P-40, do you get the 1400 millimeter one or the little one? Not a good time of year for maidens in Maine. Haven't even started the build on my C-130 yet. Hey, what's his name? Chris. Anyway, Alpha 10 and Chris, I want to say Thompson, but that's Graham. Christopher Graham. Those dudes live in Chicago. They're flying jets. Like I see their stuff all the time on Facebook. Like they do not let the they do not what was I saying? I have no idea. Getting comments on YouTube right now. They should be right over here. Yeah, it wants to bounce. Okay, Brownie. On approach, what are you got flaps in? I assume. Let me ask you what happens when you have flaps in. Is your nose kind of up and the thing's like wallowing around in a stall? Like you have to be careful not to let it get any slower when you're on approach. Like the nose is kind of high and it's just kind of doesn't feel very solid. If that's the case, give yourself a little down mix with the flaps. So it's just puts the nose down just a hair where it settles in a lot more predictably, which the reason that's nice is because it's not wobbling all around, flirting with the stall. And you're also able to keep that airspeed, which is what you need to keep from bouncing around. The whole thing with that Spitfire, you try to land it on 2 rather than 3, because it'll do a 3-pointer, but until you get it really figured out, just land on 2, because then your speed's good. If it's ugly, you can go around. If you're landing on 3, that's like the slowest kind of landing you can do, and there's just not enough airflow over the surfaces to give you much of a positive control. So if the thing's nose up, wallowing around, it's just not grooving, and it's gonna bounce. It's gonna be hard to do it, and it's gonna be hard to do it consistently. So yeah, it wants to bounce. Just I would say give it a tick or 2 of down trim maybe on your elevator. If you're full flaps, maybe back off the flaps a little bit. I hope that I'm giving you good stuff, Brownie. And take a look at those videos. I think my early videos on the Motion channel, I was still learning this myself. if you watch the maiden or the shakedown flights of the FMS P40, and it's on the Motion channel too, we used to run. Watch those landings, watch those approaches. It's just slightly nose down. There's no mix in that plane. That's just how it does. But very easy to manage your airspeed, and it comes down just right. And you don't really flare as much as you just level off at the bottom, stick it on 2, and you're golden. Either at that point back out of the throttle, let the tail sit and then pin it, or, you know, ease it in and go again. So having such a good time with the FMS P40 like that. I also have FMS P40 videos on this YouTube channel as well. But check out how that thing settles in. And then we did some new Spitfire stuff on this channel too. And I've got it dialed in either with a mix or whatever I needed to make it act like the P40. It's like, let's say I have a couple airplanes that are in a way similar shapes. I know how sweet it can be because of what that P40 gave me. So whenever I fly a warbird, that's kind of what I'm going for now. Whether it's a down mix or an up mix or whatever it needs, I'm going to eventually give it what it needs so it gives me what I want, which is a predictable approach where I'm not fighting. The Spitfire is an amazing flyer. The last thing you want to do is like have a great flight and then like a spooky landing. So I give it a little nose down, and that thing comes in really nice and predictable like my P40. So keep it on 2, keep your speed up, treat every landing like a touch and go. The thing about a good landing that starts off as a touch and go is you've got airspeed, which is what you need. You just don't have to go. Just let that tail fly till it finally sits down on its own. Then you can stick it and steer your feet. Good times, man. Good times. Catching up. RC, will you even do a video on soldering, man? That'd be awesome. Practice, practice, practice with everything. Landings and soldering. Josh Weaver, FPV asks Brownie64, do you let go of the elevator right before touchdown? That's a good question. Because you don't want to. And any questions, Brownie, you can hit me up in any of those videos on our channel now, currently the Pilot Ryan and Captain Mike RC YouTube channel. You can find me here, Messenger, Facebook, Instagram, wherever, Twitter even, and ask me. Man, we're going, man, these streams keep getting longer because we just keep having a good time hanging out together, guys. This is exactly what it says it is, RC Pilots Lounge. You're flaring at touch. That's good. You should. There's no one answer, right? It kind of depends on your airspeed. You just got to give it what it needs. If you get it too slow, it's going to bounce around on you. So you have that positive control if you touch on 2. I say treat warbirds that give you a hard time like a Mustang. I think every Mustang hates 3-pointers. There's just not something they do. They're a 2-wheel landing plane. And then the Brit birds will take whatever you give it. Like the P40 will do a 2-wheel landing. Awesome. It'll also do a 3-pointer. Spitfire will too, but it's just harder to do. I used to try them all the time on my Hurricane. And it likes a 2-wheel landing too. Even though every now and then, like very, very seldom could you get a 3-pointer out of it. It just by the time you do or trying to make it happen, you just get so slow, it just gets ugly. Dave says he flies a Corsair and it likes to tip stall a lot. Which Corsair, Dave? Yeah, Mitchell Farley, you're right on. You know, I think Corsairs have the tendency to there's a lot of elevator on them. They're very pitch sensitive. I think expose your friend on a Corsair and make sure you don't have too much throw, because the elevator, those huge counterbalances out there on the ends. I mean, the elevator's huge on a Corsair. Fred Barron says come in hot with everything, and it works out pretty good. That's kind of good advice. I flirt a lot with how slow I can go. Like that F-22, I got it to roll out, and I swear 10 or 15 feet and be done. But the windier it is, the faster you should go for safety's sake. So, yeah. They say the new Flightline 1 flies way better than the others as far as stalls. I can't wait to find that out for myself. It looks like it will. It's got a nice fat airfoil. They do a good job over there. I can't wait. Yeah, Huju, two-wheel landings seem to just save the plane. What's so wonderful now is a lot of stuff has suspension. So if you're not just killing it, it's truly, it's a wonderful scale modification to have. Mitchell says he gets too slow with the bigger models. It's easy to do. That's why I think the mindset's the touch and go. I do the same thing. I can shoot touch and goes the whole pack and have a great time. And then I'm done and I'm going to land it, and I'll let myself get too slow, and that son of a gun will be ugly. So I go up again because I'm like, I'm not going to live with that after I've nailed it the whole flight, and then I'm done and I screw it up. I'm like, I'm not living with that. I could never, when I used to shoot hoops or play ball in the neighborhood and stuff, I would never go home without hitting a basket or two in a row. The 1.2. Yeah, Dave. What battery do you fly in that? That's the e-flite Corsair, Dave Roach. Dave Wilson, thanks for that, man. And you know what? We have, Mike and I collectively, and even me just personally, have flown a lot of the foam aircraft that have been released over the last 7 years. Almost, not all of them, but a good deal of them. So 2,600? Are you answering for David Roach? 1,200 mil, man, a good 3,000, 3,300, 3S pack or 4S pack for that matter on that e-flite stuff. And, dude, you've got a good flight time and the weight you want in the front, I think. Ricky the Photon Dexter is debating between the e-flite P47 1.2 and the FMS 1500. Both are good ones, and both are FMS, really. Michael Rajka says, I find your approach angle means the most. Coming in lower helps me. Michael, I'm going to expand on that a little bit. Yeah, I've said this a few times. I think good landings, they start with the downwind leg before you ever make that turn to final, that base turn. There's a happy place. For me, I think that I find myself in trouble when I do shallow approaches. I like to let the plane find its glide and manage that. And that's why I set my planes up to do what I want them to. Okay, for instance, the first day out with the F-22, I kind of still thought that there was a typo in the manual. I thought down mix was crazy to add with flaps. Knowing how my F4 behaves, the F4 takes a lot of up trim mixed with the flap. So I wasn't thinking right. The F4 is also a bottom wing plane where the F-22 is like a top wing. But anyway, I thought down was wrong, so I didn't do any mix at all. So our very first video with the F-22 on this channel, the shakedown flights, I had no mix at all. And the nose came up I put the nose up myself when I want to, and I want to slow down and push it through with the thrust, and then manage. But I want to do it myself. I don't want my plane by default to be so nose high that I have extra workload. So when I went back out with it the next time, I did the down mix as prescribed in the book because I found out that it was right because my first flight told me that it was. And so I did that down mix, very minimal, but I did it. And so now when I'm hands off, it follows its nose, not drastically, but it really can find its groove and a nice descent glide slope. So now when it's time to put the nose up and slow it down, I'm the one doing it. It's not doing it for me because that's when you slow down before you're ready. So this kind of goes round back to the shallow approach. I can't find these things out in the shallow approach. I feel like in a shallow approach, I'm not really grooving. I'm not settled into the pocket, so to say. So no matter what I'm flying, whether it's warbirds or jets, I kind of like not a steep approach, but I want to let the plane find a glide. And if it doesn't, then I got to give it nose down to make it happen or really, really stay on the throttle. Then I know that I'm not set up right. I got to give it some nose down or play with the CG or something. So that's my thing. Whatever works for that. That's the beauty of this hobby, right? Some guys dead stick everything. They'll just give it a bunch of nose down for the airspeed and then just relax off of that, and it almost flares itself. I think that's not how I'm going to do it. And shallow approaches don't work for me typically either. I like to set the angle and then just manage that glide. A lot of times I start off dead sticked, no matter what it is. Depending on how high I am when I enter base, I may be halfway through that base turn and out of the throttle all the way, let the thing settle into a glide. And if I start to see the glide steepen, that's when I pour on my idle so I can maintain that glide just as it was. I don't want to start well and then get too steep. So I want to keep it the same. So whatever that takes, sometimes you need a bunch of throttle for that. Sometimes you need some nose down for that. Sometimes you need to, whatever. But it's radio control, not radio. I hope so. Right. So you design the character to do what you want it to. Flying's easy under power. It's the taking off and landing is the mandatory thing that you have. Thank you, Brian, for that super chat, by the way. So anyway, 1,000 ways to skin a cat. And that's how I like to set up my stuff. I want to see, for me, CG is a thing about not exactly how does it fly inverted. Most things we fly, if they're not 3D ships, are going to take a little bit of down pressure upside down. So that's okay. When I get out of the power, how does it behave? Does it drop a nose like a brick? Okay, move your CG back. Does the nose come up crazy? Okay, maybe a down mix, or maybe my CG is too aft. For me, my CG is really never too aft, because if you followed me for any amount of time, you'd know that I default to nose heavy all the time. The FMS Scorpion video, I have an old school 5000 in there, which is heavier than the new school ones, and one of those like Swiss Army knife style, like metric Allen wrench things. Hey, thanks, Victor. Sitting right next to it. Save your money for the shirts, dudes. I really appreciate the whole thing, you all. Let's see. I've been talking so much, I haven't seen the questions. Yeah, it's all about airspeed. And you know what's neat is you're always learning. Stuff that used to kick my butt a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I've got them figured out finally. Like the landing on the Scorpion, you've got to watch that Scorpion video, even if you're not into jets, just to hear me and Mike hollering. Because, and I give Mike the total credit on the Scorpion video for tactics. You Usually I'm not the guy who does super steep deflection on flaps because I'm not. Because when you do, you have to keep more power on. And so I'd rather do less of that. I want to be at idle power. I don't want to have to thrust through a lot. So, but I had a hard time with the 80 millimeter Scorpion. I really did. The video, we worked it out, but it took all day to get it. And, I could never really figure it out. So, but after the video, of course, we have more time with it. And Mike kept that one, and he got it figured out. And he was able to repeat his success over and over by having super steep deflection on his flaps on the 80 millimeter Scorpion. So I tried it my way with the Scorpion, and it was so hot I didn't even try to touch down. And then I went to full flaps per his recommendation. And even the first landing on the maiden was okay. But the second one, holy smokes, man, that's the stuff you live for. So it was coming in kind of nose high, but that's okay because the flaps are steep. It wasn't nose high bad, but it's one of those things where if I didn't push through with the power, I would definitely stall it and tip it. But I pushed through with just enough power and sometimes maybe a little down stick to manage my speed well, and then held it off and bled off all the speed. Certain jets, certain aircraft, if you don't bleed off all the speed, they're back up. So just because I worked it out on the Scorpion doesn't mean it's like an easy one. You really do have to bleed it off on that thing, I think, as much as you can. I feel like also the BAE Hawks are that way, especially the 70s and the 80s, I think. The 90 will really soak up the bounce, the landing gear, and the little 70 millimeter yaks too. I think you really got to bleed it off all the way or you're going to be back up and ugly. Let's see. Jack Miller agrees. A lot of flap and high rate on the Scorpion for sure. That's exactly what I'm doing. Stick 'em monkey pants. Yeah, Ryan, to get my sync rate, I use it all if needed. Yeah, whatever it takes. Huju, I never release the elevator stick when the wheels touch. I slowly start the elevator up motion as the plane slows and rolls out to a stop. Yeah, I mean, if you fly for real at all, it's usually always hold it, or increase it. Like you say, once you start slowing down, you can pin it. That's it. There's a marriage there that you got to get it just right. RC Weaven says, unless all speed is bled off, the ground will pop the plane up if the elevator is held up. That is hard to bleed off that much speed. Yeah, Brian, I just saw your comment. Yeah, surprised that this thing showed up today. I thought I was going to have there wasn't any room for anything else in the box. I was thinking that I was hoping to get another 90 millimeter EDF unit, but not yet. RC Weaven, Josh Weaver says it's an art to control rate of descent with throttle. It is, and it's the funnest thing. And I set up all my stuff to behave in that portion of the flight the way I want. I mean, when I fly my planes, they fly level. At full speed, they fly level. If I'm flying slow, I assume to have some back pressure in it, no matter what it is, just to keep it at altitude, right, without losing. But, you know, if my plane at full speed doesn't climb or sink or roll left or roll right, I'm good. After that, it's flap and elevator dance for ensuring I get the glide path I want on approaches. So fun stuff, man. I mean, this is like my favorite part of. I love the flying, but the taking off and landings in particular are so fun for me. Hey, Victor, what do you think about those knuckles on the F-22? David Wilson says on landings he closes his eyes and prays for the best. Just kidding, he also says. Hippie says, I can't do it no matter how hard I try. I always end up with elevator play. What do you mean? Oh, you mean the throttle deal? I mean, whatever it takes, that's the thing. What's the plane need? That's what we got to learn is the language of the plane, how to discern what it needs. And when you've made mistakes enough times, you can catch them before you get there. Like I had a couple ugly landings on the Scorpion when I was out with it. Not the first day, but 2 days ago. I got too slow, and so it got tippy. So okay, cool. So speed. That's what I'm missing. If it's getting tippy and wing rocky, I'm not going fast enough. Victor, I was asking you about the knuckles on the F-22. What do you think about those little knuckles at the wheel, the ankle? Brownie64 says he has a speed sensor on his Thunderbolt, helps lock in the speed. That's good. You know, Mike likes those whistles in his jets for that because he can hear what he wants to hear. It does depend how windy it is, John Knopp. When it is windy, I will not be so brazen on some of my approaches. I mean, I really enjoy the high nose landings on my A4, the F-22, the MiG-21. Anything that'll let me put its nose up, actually, I enjoy it. But it also keeps my gear in check. Like I'm fortunate not to be replacing gear a lot, and it's because I'm landing pretty slow. I think it's so fun when you can land one of those jets in half the runway, and I'm on 280 feet. That's right, Eric. That he listens to those whistles and he knows what's up. Guys, man, we are a long night again. 5 minutes and we're out of here. I mean it. I mean, I still haven't had dinner. Not liable to get any at this point. I thought Mike would come over still. I told him come over late, even though. Yeah, Victor, I saw that. Has he tried it yet? That was Buddy, wasn't it? The guys in Florida. Dennis Farley says, I always say 5 minutes. Yeah, David, Mike's around. You know, Charles in charge over here makes sure we're a well-oiled machine, regardless. Tri-gear need down to hold better. Yeah, I saw that mod, Victor. I thought that was a good idea. 9:20 in Boise. It's 11:20 here, Victor. Eric. I know, not unless I make a run for the border, dude, which I'm not going to do, Brian. I might make a run for – actually, I can't even go to the convenience store. Those sons of guns are closed too. RC Jetworks just commented me on Instagram about the Scorpion. He said, awesome. You need to let me fly it. Say, shoot, son. I need to let you buy it. David Wilson says, Mike sabotaged me earlier. Dave's RC, are you on the chat or are you just hitting me on comments? As far as stock status goes on anything at Motion RC, I do not know. You know, and I always just put in for the notify me deal. Sandwich, says Dennis. Hey, thanks, Josh. Thank you, man. You guys are awesome. Hey, shirts by next week's show available. I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna hang them up back here and wear them and all that stuff. When you guys leave, thumbs it up. We're gonna go in 5 minutes. I promise. Heavy is worse for the mains if you saw my landings. Oh, on the 8S deal, Victor, F-22. I had some shimmy too, and once one of those ankles rolls on that F-22, you're scuffing. If you're lucky, you get a catch it before it goes there, but then you're doing it the other way too. Our field is not smooth, so again, it's a speed thing. Like if I manage my speed well, the plane's in control, and it doesn't matter what my gear are doing. In a way, when I've gotten too slow on the F-22 is when the winds have taken over and done that to me. You're right. Just a lot of thanks for all the advice, Ryan. Got to go. Brownie64, let us know how it goes for you, man. Airspeed, airspeed, airspeed is your friend. Not too fast, but bring her in on 2. Treat it like a touch and go. Do touch and goes. Get the feel for that. And then when it's time to land it, or before it's time to land it, make sure you've got it down. Do a touch and go, but this time don't go. Do everything else the same. Come out of the throttle, let the tail fly till it starts to come down, pin it, steer your feet, call it a day. Jack in the box. We don't have those here. Too bad. All right, Brownie. Appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot for that. Glad to talk about it. It's like my favorite stuff in the world. I could do a podcast, like a YouTube channel only about talking about landings. Dennis Farley agrees. Touch and go is the best landing teacher. What's last week's show kind of was a little bit about buddies and flying buddies, and how if you don't have buddies in person, we're here together online being each other's buddies. We can talk about and learn from each other things that the best manual in the world will never impart to us. With that being said, I've learned a lot flying with Mike, and Mike has, I hope, learned a lot flying with me. I remember flying the BF-109 when we first did that video, and I was like, man, I know the airframe, and I know it's got the big long nose and the high, narrow landing gear. I'm like, Mike, what am I going to do with this thing? He's like, dude, treat it like a touch and go. Treat your landings like a touch and go. I was like, yep. The minute he said it, I was like, yep, you're right. Because the son of a gun will be flying. If it's ugly, I can get away. And if it's nice, I can just ride it down. And we did pretty good. So happy New Year to everybody. 2019 is going to be fantastic. 2018 has been crazy, amazing. I'm not sure if I've ever been glad to have a year over, but I'm kind of am. Crazy, awesome, crazy busy year. Mike has wisdom, sir. Yes, Ricky. Hey, Mitchell, thanks, man. Keep it going, he says. I should do it myself. You ever do that? Put a tip jar out and then put your own money in it? I worked at a restaurant, and you better believe it. I did that. Dennis Farley has a Dynam Waco on the way. Those things are fun. I think we put a little nose weight in it, but man, a lot of guys love that Waco, whatever you want to call it. Dennis Farley says flight line ? Who got one, Mitchell? Where am I at? Dynam. Yeah. Dynam Waco. That's the bigger one. The Rock Hobby one is smaller. I think Hippie's still flying the bejeebies out of his Waco. Boy, what a night, guys. We went for a while before I lost internet, and then we've been another hour 15. Holy smokes. Always a pleasure. So this is it. Be staying tuned on all social. Facebook, I've got it going on. We got the page. We have the RC Pilots Lounge Facebook group. I've got the Ryan Ramsey, just Pilot Ryan personal profile. Instagram's always a good time. You can find me there. You can find me on, like I said, all the Facebook stuff. A lot of guys reach out to me in Messenger. And, we do the show once a week, but like I give service and talk to guys all week long, every day. So you got questions, hit me up, man. It's cool. Man, all the time I'm there, right? I can run it all from here. So if you need something, holler. Guys, I really appreciate you. I always hate leaving. I always hate it. All right, last question from somebody. Jumping in on the end of this. Eric Rogers, good night. Don't put Loctite on prop screws, hippie. They will break. You can if you let them dry first. Not even cut the tape on the box yet. What's on the stand, says Mike. This is the FMS PA18 STOL, very capable 1700 millimeter 4S Cub with float option as well as big Tundra tires, like seriously as big as my face. Again, they're hard, which drives me crazy. But instead of buying big balloon tires, I'll probably go with smaller tires. Who knows what's going to happen? But we're going to try this thing out stock, and then if I can get some snow on the ground, we're going to put the floats on it and go out again and have some fun. And winter's sometimes windy. If I can fit one in there, access is always a thing. So when it's hard to make access for a what I call auxiliary gyro, like a Hobby Eagle where you have a regular receiver and then a gyro, it's hard to find room. So it's possible that I'll try to do an AS3X thing on this one, maybe. I've never, I hate to say never, I have not been in water after a float plane. And since I'm flying it on snow, I guess it doesn't matter as much. But we have to take opportunity when we get it, whether it's windy or not. So maybe I will put a gyro in it or AS3X. Dennis Farley likes foam tack instead of Loctite on his stuff now. I do also. So oh, that's what's going on. Yeah, Hippie got a Tiger Cat. Hippie 64 got a Tiger Cat. Yeah, you use the screws should be blue already, but I think one of those, I don't think they reverse thread those, do they, Dennis? So that means one side's going to naturally want to unscrew. So that's the one I put the foam tack on. Michael likes Loctite metal to metal, especially on front gear. Yes, exactly. Guys, on your way out, give these things a thumbs up. These will exist in the replay as all the others do, and on a playlist that's dedicated to podcasts and live streams. 21 weeks in a row. Could you believe it? Mike Rimvitas, he likes lemons. And yes, you're right. The Admirals are lemon as well. Not my favorite, but they work well for a lot of people. I fly Futaba and Spectrum. Happy New Year, Fred. See you next year, guys. Michael Rajka's out of here. I lie about time, guys. I'm so sorry. So we're going to wrap it up, everybody. See you on social. You know what's going to happen is I'm going to go find a snack and lay down and get on my phone, watch Saturday Night Live or something. So, hey, thanks for coming over to the RC Pilots Lounge Saturday Night live stream. If you wanted to get one of these stands, go to cruisein.com. Use the code RCPL Loyalty. Is that what it is? Yeah. RC Pilots Lounge loyalty, RCPL loyalty, and you get free shipping, which saves you like $20. If you're out of the country, you can save. The shipping will only be like $7.50, something like that. No, $7.50 off. That's what happens if you're out of the country. So happy New Year, everybody! Thanks for the support on the Amazon store. That's been phenomenal. And then yeah, we'll have be looking out this week because I really hope to launch the shirts before the next show. So hopefully by the next show, y'all have told me how many you bought and stuff like that. And let me know what else you want to see too, because I'm liable to offer some of that stuff up. Coffee mug, hat, hoodie. And then after that, we're going to do some other designs, just like just aircraft stuff, aviation stuff, RC hobby stuff. We're not going to do, branded stuff all the time. That will be our logo really small on a shirt with whatever on it. So let's do this thing. You know what I mean? Everybody, we're out here in 5, 4. Thanks so much, guys. 3 for coming by. I'm going to linger because I'm rushing. I'm still on 2. I'm still on 2. Deuces. Go watch our videos. The Scorpion was fun. The F-22 is sick with the high alpha. Follow on Instagram. Not on this live stream right now will the description be built out with links, but if you need access to any of our shout outs, check out the links in the description to the flight videos, because there's always a way to go find the plane, the batteries, the power system, the Amazon store, the Instagram, whatever. All right. So that's how it works, right? It's all about social. It's all about community, and we're not next door neighbors. So we got to do it through the computer. This is how we do it. 2, 1, stick a monkey pants. Thanks so much. Happy New Year. We're going to have a great one next year, 2019. Yes, decals are going to be part of the thing offered next week, as well as the shirts. I'm going to take care of you guys, and I love it. And I want you to have something. I want your support, but I want you to have something in your hands or on your head or stuck to your transmitter case. All right. Appreciate it, guys. Man, you're the best. We did 2 streams tonight because we lost internet. See ya. Stick a monkey pants. 2018. There's no one to kiss goodnight for New Year's. I guess it's not quite New Year's. Shut up, Ryan. Get out of here. All right, later. See you next time on 22 in the new year. Take care. Bye.